Hello. I thought I would try something new, well, newish. Every once in a while in the past, I would do audios, but I thought, I really enjoy listening to audios or podcasts. I listen to them while I'm driving, cleaning the house, working out. Sometimes it's like I don't have the time to just sit and watch a video. I'm always multitasking and uh, I'm like, Jen, why don't, because I was like, you know what, I haven't done content in a while. And I was like, just do an audio, you know? So I, I encourage you to, try it out, listen to this while you're driving, doing chores around the house. Maybe you're just resting, eating, breakfast or lunch or dinner, and you just wanted something in the background. And if you're new to listening to my content, um, I do consider myself a mentor, a guide, a coach. Some people are more familiar with the term health coach, but I am absolutely interested in the big picture of you. A lot of people come to me because they want to improve their health. Some people come to me because they want to change their life. They want to create new opportunities in their life, and they're feeling stuck, whether it's because of past traumas, limiting beliefs, whatever it is. Um, I have clients who come to me for that. I have some clients that come to me for workouts, and I train them online. So I have many different hats, many different roles in people's lives. But my passion is to um, help you develop consciousness, help you expand. A lot of my programs are called expansion. I'm interested in taking someone who is lost, stuck, overwhelmed, insecure, fearful, and help guiding them through the process of actually becoming whole, having presence, oneness, having inner love, listening to their inner wisdom, inner light, intuition. That is what I'm passionate about. And so today, that's kind of the reason for this audio is today I want to talk about the process of letting go and surrender. That's a really popular topic nowadays. Oh, I just need to surrender. Oh, I just need to let go. But how does one do that, right? I know when I first learned this, I was like, yeah, that sounds fantastic, but how the heck do you do it? Especially when you are sitting amongst in the fire, someone has triggered you, a situation has triggered you, you're either sad, fearful, you're ticked off, you're angry, and in that moment, how do you actually let go and surrender? And the reason, and even though this is a term that is really popular nowadays, I 1000% believe in it. I've seen the changes it has made in me and my clients. I've seen how it has helped me to enjoy the process of expansion. Sometimes when we are doing self-improvement, expansion, increasing consciousness, it can be a little icky. It can be kind of interesting, for the lack of a better term. And when I practice surrender and letting go, things just happen so much faster, so much easier. And of course, my biggest goal or, mission in life is just how to become a more um, whole and happier human being, and this is what I want for my clients. So how do you do this when someone has really ticked you off, or the bills are due, you have no money, or you're sick, you're dealing with health issues for years, and you have this tension, this anger, this frustration, this fear that, like, what if I don't get better, right? I think all of you here can resonate with this types of feelings. So the mechanism of letting go, and a lot of what I'm going to be speaking to you today about is coming from David R. Hawkins' book, The Pathway of Surrender and Letting Go. A lot of you may be familiar with this. And sometimes I'm just going to be speaking from my own words. Sometimes I'm going to be reading right out of his book because I want to explain it in a way that is clear. So letting go involves being aware of a feeling, letting it come up, and then staying with it. That staying with it is the trick. That's the hot tip of the day. Staying with that feeling and letting it run its course without wanting to make it different or do anything about it. It simply means to let the feeling be there and to focus on letting out the energy behind it. And this is kind of like the opposite of, like, most of us have been living our lives. Like, typically, if we're like, we've been taught by society is, oh, if you're feeling fearful or insecure or depressed or shameful or guilty, it's like, oh, try to create a positive thought, try to change your thoughts. Well, let me tell you something, that kind of reinforces, it feeds that feeling, the feeling that you want to give away, because it's coming from, it's that fake it till you make it thing. And honestly, that just doesn't work. It's not authentic to who you are. It's not genuine. You're faking, and it's like you're creating a really weak foundation. So it means simply to let the feeling be there and to focus on letting out the energy behind it. The first step is to allow yourself to actually have the feeling without resisting it, venting it, fearing it, condemning it, or moralizing about it. So basically, this means that you're going to experience the feeling. You're going to have awareness that, okay, right now I'm freaking out. But you're not going to talk about it with anybody. You're not going to try to figure it out. You're not going to judge it or condemn it. What this means is that you're not going to react. You're simply just going to have awareness that this is how you're feeling in this moment. It means to drop judgment and to see that it is just a feeling. The technique is to be with the feeling and surrender all efforts to modify it in any way. Let go of wanting to resist the feeling. It is resistance that keeps the feeling going. When you give up resisting or trying to modify the feeling, it will shift to the next feeling and be accompanied by a lighter sensation. A feeling that is not resisted will disappear as the energy behind it dissipates. And let me tell you something. I have experienced this firsthand. Maybe some of you already have, where let's just say you are angry. All right. And you're like, oh my God, I'm so furious. I'm angry. And when you just sit with that and you're like, okay, I'm angry. And that is it. You're not going to go and talk to a friend about it. You're not going to try to analyze it. You're not judging that you're angry in this moment. When you do that, the next feeling from anger is actually pride. Now, pride can have its own downfall, but pride is actually a higher level of consciousness than anger. Just like how anger is higher consciousness than like fear or shame or guilt. All right, shame is probably as low as you can go. And then there's guilt, there's apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger. Then there's pride. Now, if you want to know what scale I'm looking at and using, it's the map of consciousness. If you just Google it and look at images, you'll see this upside down triangle, and it's rainbow colored, and it kind of goes through the different levels of consciousness. And I use this a lot when working with people. And so if you are in this moment feeling angry, and if you actually don't react to this feeling, you just have awareness that it is present within you. If you just sit with that, breathe, go on about your day, you might notice the anger starts to dissipate, and you might start to actually feel pride. And from there, you have awareness that you're like, okay, I'm feeling kind of prideful in this moment. I can feel it. Well, the next emotion from pride is courage. Now you're heading somewhere. Now you're starting to leave that victim abuser consciousness, that lower ego self. And now you're actually starting to move into the rational, linear, emotional self, which is in the realm of, or in the category of self empowerment. When you start heading towards courage, from there you start feeling neutral about the situation. And I have to tell you, I kind of had this situation come up for me over the weekend. There was something that um, triggered me, and I felt shame, I felt guilt, I felt, then from there I felt fear. And then right, I think I skipped desire, and from there I went straight to anger. And then I was like bouncing between like anger and like shame a little bit. And then but then it's like I did the opposite of what I should have done. I was trying to rationalize this emotion, this anger. I tried to force a better feeling about it. And what it did was it actually it made the anger grow. And then it also increased the fear. And so today, and this is what kind of inspired me to do this audio, was that when I just kind of sat with it, I started, like, my intuition started talking to me. My heart started talking to me. And it was like, okay, I have this feeling of anger. But then I was able to look at the other person's point of view. And I was like, okay, I can see that. And honestly, I went from this courageous automatically into feeling neutral about it. I started going into that self-empowerment. And now I want to say I'm bouncing between neutrality and acceptance. And it's a nice place to be in. And I just know, if like in this moment, I'm aware that I have a feeling of acceptance about the situation that had originally brought me right down to shame and guilt. Now I'm like, okay, this happened and this is how things are. It's okay, and from there, I just know it's going to get better. And I wanted to share this with you because a lot of times when people are dealing with stressful situations, whether it's like they're afraid of losing their job, or they're trying to lose weight, or they're trying to improve some aspect of their life, there's a lot of thoughts that come up, right? It's like our minds just won't stop. Well, if you want to get to the place of acceptance and wisdom and inner love and oneness and presence and feeling whole, you want to stop and ignore all thoughts. Because when we focus on the feeling itself, not on the thoughts, thoughts are just endless and self-reinforcing. They just keep feeding that negative emotion, that fearful emotion, and they just breed more thoughts. All right, and thoughts are just our brain trying to rationalize the presence of the feeling and emotion that we have. It doesn't really help anything. But when we take a moment, we acknowledge the feeling, and we let the feelings come up, it's actually easier to let go of the reaction, because sometimes the resistance to experiencing and acknowledging the emotion, it's just fear-based. It's like we resist feeling angry, we resist feeling grief or guilt or fear because we're so afraid to experience it, which is just silly because it's just an emotion, that's it. But when we actually just let it come up and we just sit with it, it loses all its edge, it loses all its power. And we're actually able to climb that scale of consciousness. We're able to get to neutrality, willingness, acceptance, inner light, inner wisdom, inner love, oneness, presence, and eventually full consciousness. When we allow ourselves and we don't react, this is where the expansion happens. This is where the true growth is. And when you're in a state of that flow, opportunities and things and problems that we thought we felt like there was no solution, we felt stuck, it just all that pressure just dissipates, and we're actually able to see the light. Basically, we're actually able to see the path. But if we just constantly let our mind go and we keep feeding that fear and insecurity, it creates a fog and we just can't see that path. So this week, if you are discouraged about weight loss, if you are, if your significant other said something to you that was hurtful and you're triggered and now you're angry, or if you really get down to the emotion, you realize it's a feeling of guilt or shame, if you're stressed out about work, whatever, if something happened, I really encourage you to just sit within the emotion and have awareness. Like, you know what? I'm feeling guilty. It's shame that I'm feeling right now. What can I do? Nothing. I want you to just sit with it and let it go. Let the emotions come up. Sit with it. You're not going to react. You're not going to call your friend and vent about it, because then you're just going to feed that energy. You're just going to sit with it and you're going to just have awareness. I feel shameful about whatever happened. I feel guilty. I feel anger. Whatever it is, sit with it and then just allow yourself to just go about your day and be gentle about the situation. Don't force anything. And eventually you're going to notice that anger, that feeling of shame or guilt, it's going to dissipate. And you're going to actually rise up that level of consciousness. It's actually going to start bringing in the next emotion you need to actually feel okay about the situation. So I encourage you to do this. Just have awareness of it. If you have any questions, please just comment below. And I would love to hear your guys' experience with working with this, because again, not only am I interested in your physical health, I'm interested in your emotional and mental health as well, and how you can become your fullest potential. How do you become whole? How do you reach that full, that heightened full consciousness being that I know that, you guys already are? You just have to see it and you have to acknowledge it and find it in yourself. Basically, it's the path that all of us are on and trying to figure out. But this is one of the things that have been helping me recently, and I absolutely love it. And I hope you enjoy it too. All right, till next time. Bye.